Hey folks, I'm back. Um, it's something I wanted to share, and it's basically with the men. If you were in a relationship and you're married and everything, I've come across a couple of situations and whatever. And one thing I wanted to, and I want to share this with the men, the ladies, they need to hear this thing too. But I basically, as a man, I want to talk to the men. Men, when you get married, the your wife should be your best friend, okay? She should be the one who gets your utmost respect in any relationship. When I was growing up in the Washington, D.C. area, I got to see some things that I did not want to perpetuate when I got married. My dad didn't treat my mom with respect. There were, a lot of verbal abuse, and there were some beatings too. Not as much as the verbal abuse, but they still did exist. And I told myself, whenever I get married, I don't want to be that type of person. I didn't want to be like my dad, not because I hate him or anything like that. I don't hate him, but I said I don't want to be that type of person. When I met my wife, I showed her respect from the get go, opened the door for her and everything, treated her like a lady. Of course, she treated herself like a lady, so that wasn't too hard. But, you know, I told myself whenever I get married, I'm going to treat my wife with respect. And too many times, and I'm talking to Christian men now, too many times in a marriage relationship, I see men who just don't respect their wives like they should. And I lose a little respect for them because of that, because that's your wife, you're married to her, you've been married for X number of years, and you can't have the decency to show her respect. Of course, we have our little faults and everything and stuff like that. I know I got many faults myself. But men, Christian men, learn how to respect your wives. If she, now between it's between her and God whether she's going to cook dinner for you or anything like that. That's between her and God. But you don't need to go upside her head because she doesn't cook your dinner. You don't need to go upside her head because she doesn't fix your clean your house or anything like that. You don't need to go upside her head if she doesn't do something that you think she should be doing. And it amazes me that Christian men, so-called Christian men, fall into this, and I don't understand it. You need to respect your wives. She's supposed to be your best friend. You're supposed to be her protector, her provider. Yeah, she's going to do some things that take your nerves off. Yeah. And that's one thing I've understood. My wife is tick me off on occasion, probably nowhere near as half as I tick her nerves off. But it's a relationship. You're dealing with two imperfect people involved in a relationship, and I don't understand why Christian men, so many times they don't respect their wives. And the ones that I notice that get the divorces a lot are those who are always talking like they got everything together. Oh, I'm a blessed man of God, and I'm this and I'm that and everything and stuff like that. And those are the main ones that end up getting divorced. And I overhear some things. He might call his wife and she didn't come as fast enough, and he's like, "Look, when I tell you to come, you better come right away, immediately." And I'm like, "Why in the world are you going to talk to your wife like that? She's not your animal. She's not your pet. She's just, she's a human being just like you are." And men, we have to learn patience. And, I'm talking to myself when I say this too. We need to learn patience, because once again, our wives are not perfect people. And we need to learn patience. And it's something I've had to learn over the years. Not saying I abuse my wife, because I haven't, and yelling at them and everything and stuff like that. I told myself I don't want to yell at my wife because it might break her spirit. If she doesn't, she'll come to me and say, "Honey, I don't feel like cooking today." And there's no skin off of my back. I don't know what the big deal is. What am I supposed to do? Go upside her head? And too many times Christian men act no different than men out in the world. Go upside their head, call their wives stupid, you're dumb, I don't like, you look ugly and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't understand this thing. You're supposed to be Christian men. You're supposed to be men of God, like you all always say. I'm a mighty man of God. But when it comes to your relationship in your marriage, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Me and my wife, we've been married for 9 years. And it seems like it's been only 3 years, to be honest with you, because it's been nice. We had our little conflicts and everything, but one thing we do, we get over those conflicts quickly, and then it's over. It's gone. That's it. So men, Christian men. I'm basically talking to Christian men. It should be for all men, but Christian men, because you're supposed to be the ones walking in the light of Jesus, and you're supposed to be a mighty man of God. But your wife doesn't cook your dinner, and you want to get all upset and beat it and beat it. And some of these men beat their wives. Excuse me. Some of these men beat their wives. Why are you going to beat your wife? That's another thing I don't understand. Why in the world are you going to hit your wife because she doesn't perform her so-called wifely duties? I don't understand it. I don't get it. But Christian men, look, you need to understand what it is to be a godly man, okay? Now, like I said, I saw some things growing up that I saw my dad do to my mom that I said I'm not going to do to my wife. Growing up in that atmosphere, they tell you you're going to do the same thing that your parents did. But I made it up in my mind. See, it's a choice. You don't have to act like your father did or your mother did or whatever, or anything like that. You don't have to. It's still a choice, and it's no excuse by saying, "Well, my dad used to do that, so that's why I do it." It's no excuse. I made the choice. I said, I'm going to treat my wife with respect. And I made sure that I made that clear before I got married. But it's something we have to do. Hey, folks, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
But it's something we all have to understand, that we cannot walk around like this and walk in disrespect with the person that we are having a relationship with. So, Christian men, you really need to understand what it's like to have a relationship. If you are not ready to get married, if you're one who gets ticked off easily and everything, see, getting married to a wife is not about going to bed and having a woman clean your dishes and wash your clothes and everything like that. It's a relationship. Okay? So, Christian men, think about it, consider your ways, and learn what it is to be a real man. Because I'm sorry to say, a lot of men, maybe most of them that I've seen, they really aren't men of God. I'm sorry. This is Vincent E. Brown. I'm signing off. And until the next time, I'll see you on the rebound.